the defenders did not over-rotate. We had anchors. We had a Cypher holding B, and we had KO and Astra holding A. And we always keep, like, one of these people on site until we see the spike. Because, guys, if you over-rotate on this map, it takes a long time. Like, the only time you should be rotating is, like, maybe you send one person to like, stack one site because you think it's going to be the hit. But you want to keep an anchor. All right, guys, so today we're going to talk about Abyss. It's very rush heavy. It's very hard to default on Abyss. When you look at this map, you know, you have your main choke points here that you can go through, and rushes are pretty easy because you can just run in. But mid, the problem with mid is it doesn't really give you much. Because if you do like a mid B, look at all the space you have to go through to just get onto site. Like if you're able to control all this space, I mean, one, it's going to take a lot of resources, but if you do control all this, then, you know, you'll probably just be able to win the round. But it's just really hard to actually get up into this space and control it. You have to worry about people coming from behind you in mid. You got to worry about this from CT. You got to worry about someone in heaven peeking you. There's just a lot of ways it can go wrong right here. When we look at A, if we try to go this route, it's kind of the same thing. It's like kind of, if you look at it, guys, it's set up very similar on both sides, just kind of mirrored, you know. And you don't see a lot of teams doing like a split push A or split push B. And when they try it, it doesn't really work. So I would not recommend doing like a split B or a split A through these two routes. These two routes are only really used for lurks. Like if you have a Cypher that, you know, late in the round lurks up, you know, in one of these, or an Astra, whatever, that's really the only time on attack you're going to be utilizing that. Now, I will show you guys a clip, though, of an example of how we can actually use this entrance to split A a little bit easier. And the reason, like, this spot, this part of the map is a strategic spot that we should take is because when we try to plant, we'll get spammed from heaven a lot. And also, if you're able to control heaven, it makes the retake really hard. Because why? Why would the retake be hard if we had all
And then we
of
still
this
have only
control?
one choke point to like retake from, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with this choke point, if we have heaven control, that means we can hold this crossfire right here.
Smokes and a recon deep into mid for Sen, and they're going to go ahead and walk up for free.
Yep. This time, though, there's a bit more than just narrate getting into vent. He does break it open, so that already is starting to furrow the brow of the defenders over there. Camera ping, I think they're on the second. This is going to force it. Look, where are they safe on this side? Nowhere, really.
Only in this smoke, the shot, or the trips rather, weren't broken, but bang, what a swing.
Yeah, his open is a bit awesome. Walking up into that site, and again, it feels unlosable for Sentinels, this situation.
So you can just see there how powerful it is to get heaven control here. But it can be hard, right? This is a very small choke. And once you do it enough times, the defenders will be able to counter it pretty well. And you have to commit a smoke here and commit a smoke here. But let's kind of take a step back and kind of talk about what agents are good on this map. Astra and Omen are the two best controllers on this map. So the global smokes is probably the most important thing. That's why it's better than Clove in basically every regard, because you can smoke, you can have stars on B and on A, and you can even throw like a one-way mid right here. Yeah, the global smokes are super good. If you're an Astra player, the stars you want to have down, you want to be set up like you have on defense. You have 2 stars set up wherever you're playing, and then you have 1 star on the other site. That's kind of how you want to set it up. And then you have 2 stars remaining that are like your flex stars. So you could place them like if the, you know, if your teammates see a lot on B, you could throw a star here, throw this, and then pull. And then you have 1 star left for post plant, where you can, like, you know, smoke off the spike and defuse it. You want to place these 3 down, and then we talked about the wall. The wall is really good if you want to do a B hit. Now pay attention. This is the wall you want to do. These are the stars you want to do when we do a B hit. You want to do this wall, and then you want to throw like a pole back there. So we have, if I can get over there.
What is
So we have wall down, and then we could do pole or stun, whatever, right there, and then we should be able to take sight like that. So the wall is really good. You could also use the wall for retake if you're on the opposing side. So walling right here. Oh.
My ult's ready.
So you do like a wall like this,
Well divided. My ult's
and it's
ready.
really hard for the enemies to push through that, and you can defuse the spike. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much Astra. One thing you can do on attack, this might be in one of the clips actually, is a lot of times enemies will throw like a one-way here. Usually if it's an Omen, they'll throw a one-way here.
Blocking vision.
What you can do to get past this one-way is you can put a star here, pull away, go out, and then now you've gotten past the one-way. And same, you know, you can do it here as well. Get past one-way like this. And then now you're peeking past the one-way. So pulling away stars is really powerful. But as for your smokes for pushes, you know, if you're rushing A, you just kind of do this, and then you throw like some kind of star back sight so that they can't peek you. So you do like,
Obscuring fish concealment cone. Casting him.
and that's your push. On B,
Taking that back.
it's pretty much just when you're taking sight. You want to put these 3 stars, and you want to smoke heaven first,
Blocking vision.
and then you want to do your stun,
Blasting him.
and then you only want to smoke book when like you need it.
Concealment.
You can wait to do that one a little bit, but those are pretty much the stars. So Astra is really good. Global smokes. The ult is really good for retakes and takes. The pull away stars are super good to get past one ways. And then I also heard the post plant. Yes, post plant's good as well for Astra with the pull. So that's why Astra's good. Let's look at Omen. Sentinel's been running Omen a lot, and they've been getting a lot of value out of them, more than I first expected. More smokes means you can. Sentinels do this every round. They throw an Omen smoke here, and then they throw an Astra smoke here, and the defenders, they throw the Astra smoke here, Omen smoke there, because Astra smoke's bigger. But it basically blocks off all of mid, so you have mid control. So you can always threaten a split every single round. And sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't split. And what happens to the defenders is they're really pressured because they know they can't really play heaven too well. And if they're playing on site, you know, they're going to get pushed from heaven and main, and that's very hard to hold, as we saw in that clip earlier. So Omen's really good for that. He can also keep, like, since you have 2 smokes, you can keep cycling one-ways on defense. So you keep one-waying this. This is a very strong one-way, just to hold A main. So his teleport's also pretty good for fast rotates, because this map is very huge. It takes a long way to rotate. So the comps I recommend you guys run, I have the MIBR comp and the Sentinels comp are like the 2 best, in my opinion. So the MIBR comp is Cypher, Sova, KO, Jet, and Astra. And then the Sentinels comp is basically the same thing, but no Sentinel. The no Sentinel is definitely harder to play because you have to worry about flanks. But the positives is you get to shut down ops way easier, and you have more flexibility with your controller. So let's see. But yeah, it's basically just that.
What about Vice on this?
So Vise, I think, is super strong.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Chamber.
The Chamber's also pretty good. So last season we ran a comp where it was Vise and Chamber, and it was just a single initiator. So it was like this, and that worked pretty well because you could put 1 Sentinel on one site, like Vise can hold down B, Chamber can go A with the teleport. You could also switch that around. You could use your Jet op mid, so you get a double op. It's really strong on defense. On attack, it's kind of hard. It's a lot harder on attack, but that's pretty good. But Vise, she thrives on defense and is not as good on attack. Why do you think Vise is not as good on attack as Cypher is?
Because she only has like 1 trick to watch, maybe.
Yeah, you pretty much just can only put this wall here.
Yeah.
Or you could put like you could do something like this where you have
And just,
the wall, or
like
you
if
could
you're
put
going
wall.
B, they can come through vent or the opposite, dodge it out.
Yeah, yeah. If you go up against a Vice, guys, by the way, you're gonna want to do whenever you go A, you're gonna want to do this split for sure, so you can get past all that Vice util, or you need to bait it out somehow. And then it's just hard to go up against Vice because she has just such delay power. But yeah, Vice can just hold down a site solo. But the issue with Vice is
Flashing.
she doesn't like the cam. The Cypher cam is super strong. You can just throw it up mid and get info on rotates. And you can put your trips in multiple places, whereas Vice, you have to kind of put the wall here. And that's like the only place you can put the wall. Cypher ult is also, I think, better because the Vise, like this map is so huge, it's hard to get value out of Vise ult. Like, if you throw the ult like that, they can just back up behind it like this. So I think Vise is good. It's just I would for your Sentinel, I would pick whatever your Sentinel player is more comfortable playing. If they're more comfortable on Vise, then you kind of build around that. If they're more comfortable on Cypher, then you play more info. So yeah, that's
What
that.
What do you think about Teo?
So Tejo, I don't think he's that great. I think you could run him in place of KO if like your flex initiator is just like really just does not like KO. You could run it, but the thing is the KO flash is so good. But as for KO, he's really strong because he can deny pushes with his knife. So like what I see a lot of the pros do is they'll throw this one way up if they have an omen, and if the enemies are pushing, he'll throw that, and his flashes are super good. You could throw like that and then peek with it. So that's strong on B. You throw your molly to delay as well. You can just throw this knife right here, and you'll basically get all of this control because no way a chamber or jet is going to be able to survive when they get knifed. And then like what you do is you throw a knife, and then if somebody's there, you flash, and then you peek out with it. And if there's a jet out here, they're just dead because they can't dash out because of the knife. So it's really good to just throw this knife here like every single round, unless you're rushing B, just as a default, or if you're rushing. But if we wanted to rush on KO, what we do is we throw a knife, see if anyone's here. Okay, nobody's here. We throw this flash. The enemies will smoke here, and then we just pop flash through that smoke. And then we just get out and take sight like this. The other great thing about KO is his ult has pretty long range, so he can deny like a Sentinel's utility if you just ult like this, and then flash out. So that's on A. Like I said, you want to throw that knife in A like every round, unless you're rushing B. Now, if you're rushing B, this is something that I came up with I thought was good. Your jet's going to come up these stairs and peek. And what you're going to do when the round starts, you're going to come up here, and you're going to throw this flash. And it's going to pop right out here, and your jet can kind of peek with that flash. So basically, this is when the round starts, you go like this. You run up, throw your flash, peek with the flash. Okay, we clear, we clear, we clear. Now we knife sight, and then we take sight. And the knife will get, usually there's a Sentinel holding like here or something. You can just totally deny them where they have to play off sight. Your jet can dash on, and it's pretty good. You could also do something like here. Here's an, we flash, we go out, peek with it, knife sight. Okay, there's somebody's sight. Now let me molly back sight. And then that guy's screwed. So, great thing about KO with 2 flashes is like in post plant, say you get smoked off, like say they smoke this off, you can pop flash through that smoke to like aggress the spike. So, if you're like a flex player or you're an initiator player and you think you're gonna play KO, definitely fool around with them because there's not a lot of times you'll play KO, so you kind of need to be comfortable with how the flashes work. Practice this flash. See, like me, I haven't practiced it enough. Practice this one. Practice your pop flashes. and practice with your teammates too. And then on B, you'll see KO be played on B as well. He can play like this position, and if he's getting pushed, you can throw a knife here, and then he's able to isolate ones a little bit easier. You know, throw molly. He can also here's a cool pop flash you can do. Like if they're pushing you, you know, throw a knife, and then as they're coming out, you go like this, and then peek out with the flash. To the enemies, it looks like it doesn't look like that. It looks like this. So it's pretty hard for them to dodge, and you can get out and peek with it. But yeah. Any questions on KO?
Like you just use this ult when you take side also, like right?
Yeah, you just. I mean, whenever you have KO ult, just rush a site. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
The only way to counter KO ult is like. So remember, guys,
KO ult.
I tell you a lot to keep in mind, like ult track. So before the round starts, like in the end of round phase, when like everyone dies and it's like the 7 seconds before you go into the next round or whatever it is, what you need to do is you need to check what the enemy's ults are. So like say we're going up against this team, okay? I'll just run through it. Okay, if the enemies have Astro Wall and we're on attack, what should we be thinking?
That they're gonna go B most likely.
No, we're attacking and they're defending.
Oh, we're attacking.
Yeah, say we're attacking.
So we should probably go B.
Yeah, they're probably.
What about post plant? That's more important about post plant.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
enemies have
No.
Astral, then
Yeah.
we need to play on side.
Yes, we need to play on site or we need to play up site. We need to like push through here or push through here or have a lurk, right? So we know that about Astro Wall. Okay, what if the enemies have KO ult? How does that so let's switch the sides. Say the attackers, the enemies on attack have KO ult. What does that mean for our defense setup? The reasons like Cypher and Vise are so good is because they have global utility. So you can throw all this util down and then leave and swap with somebody else so somebody else can hold with that. You need to have good comms to be able to, take advantage of it. But yes, you should always be thinking of that. What if the enemies have Vise ult? What should we be doing?
Buying sheriffs.
Yeah, sheriffs, shorties, whatever.
Shorty.
Mm-hmm.
Frenzy.
Yeah. Okay, and then what if we have Astro Wall? What do you think we should do? On attack.
Try
We have
to-
Astro Wall
on
on attack.
attack.
Try to go towards B.
Yeah, we should probably wall B. And let's do this wall and go B. If we have KO ult on attack, what should we do?
Rush
hit it
either
right.
side.
Mm-hmm. If we have Sova ult, what do you think we should do?
Play post on or get an early pick with it.
Yeah, we could play back in our post plant. It's but yeah. So yeah, just that was kind of an exercise, but when you're in, it's harder to realize that in games, so just, always stay on top of that. Having someone, a dedicated person to ult track and like the end of round phase is good. We should also check the credits of the other team. Why is that?
Because if they're only good, they're probably gonna do something crazy / stupid.
Like get shotguns or something. Play short corners.
If the enemy
Like, they
team has
They
no
could push up
money,
in corner A.
if the enemy team has no money, then on attack, how should we play? Like, what do you think a good play would be if the enemies had bad guns?
Just
Rush
hit
a
a
site.
site.
Rush a site, and we probably shouldn't have a lurk because we don't want to lose a gun.
Yeah.
You'd only want to lurk there if they have like a ghost or something. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I think most of you guys know that, but it's really important to understand that. So, okay, let's look at another clip. Let's look at this one here.
That's a tough position to play, but he does the job to get MIBR on the board.
All right, so let's kind of look at this setup here. So I'm looking more at MIBR on defense. They have their Jet mid. They have Cypher on B. This is pretty cool cam. They have their Astra and their KO set up here on A. And just kind of watch how they play defense here.
Really flash in the dark, nothing to break that one, of course, because anybody who could was blinded up. Deep knife against the back wall. 3-1-1 in terms of how crew are choosing to play it, just trying to lurk these players up towards mid.
The drone counteracts that potential lurk timing, though.
Yeah.
And I thought they'd be running some defense Cypher utility on A, but instead they're just having Ardazine jump peek this. And that's a little worrying because Kesnet's sharp with these. Ardazine, whenever this wall goes up, has got to try to get info. You see him here flashing. Going for the little jiggle. It's a tough spot to play.
Pulled all of the util out of him, though.
But also crew have not really taken too much map control as yet.
Slowly working their way back over. Now the knife is going to be coming back online. In fact, Ardazine has it, so timing is everything here.
And Adverso's going to look for a Sovereign on the engage.
What's out? That's going to be connecting. Dash forwards. An engagement call for Kisnet wants to try and take this fight, face them, but it's just spraying and praying into the smokes. Of course, it's predictable. There's only the one choke point which they're going to be trying to.
Okay, what do we notice from this round? What were some tendencies the defenders did and why they won?
Like random peeks. He only peeked after he flashed. Didn't give him an opportunity to get like a early pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when it was like quiet, they used Sivadrin down mid to make sure they didn't have to work going up.
Yeah. Yeah. So like there was a, let me delete everything. There was a Viper smoke here. A lot of times enemy, like you guys might see this, especially if they run a double smoke, they'll smoke these. So to counter that, once those come up, you could send a Sova drone through to get info on mid, see if they're doing anything mid. So Sova a lot of times will play B because he can drone mid, and then if they're coming B, he can dart and help the person on site. Or you could go here and dart like this. And then if they're coming out site, you know,
Like you can
it's hard to shoot that
dart
dart.
on the little tube, but it hits sight too.
Yeah, you can do this too. It's just, you know, this is further behind them, so it's harder for them to shoot.
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, a lot of times, guys, you'll have a Cypher cam up here watching mid. If they break that Cypher cam, then you want to drone to get info on mids. And if they left it, then you can kind of just leave it. Just have somebody hold, you know, just have like one person hold mid or something, and then the rest hold site. But the important takeaway from this clip is the defenders did not over-rotate. We had anchors. We had a Cypher holding B, and we had KO and Astra holding A. And we always keep, like, one of these people on site until we see the spike. Because, guys, if you over-rotate on this map, it takes a long time. Like, the only time you should be rotating is, like, maybe you send one person to like, stack one site because you think it's going to be that hit. But you want to keep an anchor.